Hi guys, hi again. As promised, I said I'm gonna make another video about cover letters. So that's one of other things that I get questions a lot on how to make a cover letter. So today we will write a cover letter together and I will show you what I think is an ideal cover letter, and also will show you how I did my cover letter for my applications, and that worked for me and I got the job offer. So just again, for those who don't know me, I'm Chaima. I'm one of the IMGs working now in Australia. I did my AMC one in 2024 and then got a job with Ollie AMC1. And I think I learned a lot through the process of making CVs, cover letters, selection criteria, and then I passed my AMC2 later on in November 2024. So I get a lot of questions about people, how did they secure a job with Ollie AMC1? How did they structure my CV and cover letters? So in the previous video, I did explain everything about CVs. And in this video, I will explain how I do my cover letters. Just to remind you, like I'm not a professional CV writer or cover letter writer, so just feel free to seek any other professional help if you really think you need more a professional approach. But this approach has worked with me and worked with my colleagues who also applied with similar formats and they got jobs as well. So let's start. So a cover letter is like a summary or an introduction to yourself and to the hospital, right? So you want to tell them and you want to convince them why you want to work there. So to start with, there is always a few structures that you guys have to know. So I already have them here. So we will bring them up. So you first start with of course, you have to remove this, and then you have to start with your full name, your full address, city, and then phone number, address, and date. And then same with the hiring manager. So whenever you go to a job application, this information will be there. So in the job application, you will find as well the name of the hiring manager. Sometimes there is a specific name, like John, whatever, but sometimes there is no specific name. So what you have to do, you just say hiring manager or the title they're giving there, like medical educator director or yeah, HR, whatever. So you just put it there, you put the hospital name, the hospital address, and the city and the code. And then you say, dear, so wherever, if you don't have a name, you always say, dear hiring manager. And then you say regarding what. So you say, let's say, RMO in emergency medicine 2025, and always add here the reference of the job. So every job has a reference number. So that will be good to add, like, let's say, I'm just gonna make it up, but let's say 3029. So that may be the reference of the job. So just say reference. Yeah. So they know what job have you applied to and what's the number and what's the reference. So that makes it easier for them as well. Great. So, and now we will start writing our cover letter. So the first thing is always an introductory sentence that everyone has a similar one. So like, for example, I'm writing to express interest in the exposition at X hospital. And that will be the first thing you start with. As advertised, you can do that. And then after, you just need something very small to start with. Once you have started with this, the next step will be introducing a little bit yourself. They already have your CV, but remember that professional statement we made in the CV? We have to make something similar now. So you can just say, I'm a junior doctor. And as you know, guys, so from Spain, in my case, I'm eligible for limited registration and aiming to pursue my future medical career in Australia. So that's what they need. You can add, if there is anything that stands out a lot about you, for example, sorry, that would be my interest, yeah. So if there is something that stands out for you, you can add it in that small introduction. Like if you have 5 years of experience or 2 years of experience or something like really that it's unique, you can always add that. So I'm a junior doctor with 5 years of experience from Spain, and I'm eligible for limited registration. If you have passed AMC2, you can also say I'm eligible for limited registration, for provisional registration. Perfect. And now let's move on to the next part. So the next part in the cover letter will be always answering 3 types of questions that I think they are very, very fundamental and essential. So the first question is why you want to work in this hospital. The second question is why you are the suitable candidate, or why you are better than others and why they should hire you. And the third question that I really think gives us a really nice touch at the end is your future plans. And the whole of hospital would be something that fits with your future plans. So let's start one by one. So you don't have to write the questions, of course, in the cover letter. You just have to say, I believe, so whatever hospital, I believe X hospital is the perfect place for me to start for the following reasons. So if you wanna, so let's say, first reason that I would think about, for example, so good training programs. So to know this, you just don't have to make it up. You have to go to the website of the hospital and explore what they have. And you have to, show that you have researched about the hospital, that you have knowledge about the hospital, and that you are interested in working in that hospital. So it doesn't have to be a very generic cover letter. It has to be specific for each hospital. So let's say good training program, so whatever program they have. Or, when I applied to my hospital, I knew that the hospital won an award for like mental health for the employees. So being awarded mental health award for maintaining maintaining the staff well-being. And this happened in 2022, something like that. So I mentioned that. One important thing always to mention is supportive environment. So you always can say that you know from other doctors who are working there that the environment is really supportive. And you can always give examples. So you can always say that you have been in contact with other IMGs working there, because in many hospitals you will know other IMGs just through Facebook, through Telegram. So it's always good to go and see, what their experiences, environment, right? And then what else do we have? You can always say as well. So other thing that I would add is not only about medical things, but if you are moving to a city where you have friends, relatives, or there is amazing nature, so you would say life-work balance, city life, nature around the city. Just, don't make it too only medical. You can always add a little bit, like, because we all want to move to some cities because the family are there, our relatives are there, the city, nature around the city. So yeah, just add that touch. So for that reasons why you want to work in that hospital. And that would be, so I think that would be the first paragraph you have to do. Try to keep it simple, not too long, and do it in bullet points. I would agree that this should be done in bullet point. So it's really easy to read, and it has to be like 3 lines each, maximum 3 points, not more than that. And then the second question that we have is why you are a suitable candidate. So you just say, I believe my credentials aligns with the hospital roles and responsibilities. So this is where you guys have to do a homework. When you apply for a job, you have to go and see what are the roles and responsibility of that hospital, right? So you have to go and check in there, because every job has a role and responsibility PDF. So you go there and just choose a few of them and relate them to your career. So for example, I have experience. If the job is asking for 6 months of experience of ED, so experience in ED in whatever country you have worked with, if they're asking you to have ALS, BLS, so you can say that here. If they are asking you as well to have good communication skills, so you can always say you have always had good communication skills in your previous workplace, and you are able to work in teams, and you can give an example from your job. And but yeah, this area, the key here is that it should match the role and responsibilities that are there as well in the job description and the roles, right? You don't have to make it up. It has to be, what they are looking for, and you are telling them, okay, I have this and you're looking for this. If there is something they are asking for and you don't have, just skip it. For example, when I applied for my job, they wanted general registration, and that what they said in the job roles and responsibilities, that they want someone with general registration. I did not have it, so I just skip it and I just mention the things I have, and that's it. And keep it simple as well. So other thing that I mentioned is because I did medical elective as a medical student in the UK, so I mentioned that as a good strength, that I'm able to adapt to different healthcare systems because I worked in Spain. I did electives in Norway, I did electives in UK, and that sounded like, okay, she can adapt in different healthcare systems. But anything really, like, I'm sure you have done volunteering, you have done more courses, you have done more teaching. If the hospital is offering teaching opportunities, like, you can always show your interest in teaching, and that's why you are a suitable candidate. You can just anything that you think would make you stand out. The reason I'm saying this is because you need a cover letter that does not sound a generic cover letter from ChatGPT. It just doesn't have to sound like a copy paste. It has to sound like it's really you, it's personal to you, and you have looked at the job responsibilities, you have looked at the hospital, and you know what are you saying. So that's it. And then the last one has to be very quick. So what's your future plans? So my future plans are to, so first, obtain my general registration. So this is a very important point. So I want you all to mention here. So even if you are going for a WBA hospital, I want you to mention that you want to do AMC2, because they really value more candidates who are willing to do AMC2. So obtain my registration. I'm already preparing for AMC2 and aiming to sit the exam, and just give, I don't know, November, even if you haven't booked yet. So just give a frame time so you know you have a plan. Second will be just 1 second, and the second thing will be like, what do you want to do after your general registration? So I aim to go to GP training, surgical training, I don't know, BPT, wherever you want to do, anesthetics, critical care, wherever you want to do, you just mention it. So they give them an idea that you are serious about your career, you know what you want to do later on in future. So that will be something that I want you guys to always add at the end. And then you say, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to apply, and yeah. And whatever other sentence that ChatGPT can suggest in the end, just to close the letter. So it does not have to be something fancy at all. And then you just sign it, and they say kind regards and sign it with your name. So maximum has to be like 1 page to 2 pages. Try to make this smaller. We can always go up here. Try to make this smaller, and just try to keep it as a 1 page. I will put this templates in there in the link below. So you just, in my description, you will find this. And of course, just make sure you correct all the mistakes. So yeah, so I'm just doing it now, but just make sure you have everything correct before sending it. And then another thing that I always say is keep all the paragraphs aligned. Don't keep them not aligned because it just makes it, well, it's giving me a bit of OCD. So I think that looks much, much more professional and nicer. So yeah, as you see, guys, it does not have to be something fancy. Essentially, it does not have to be a copy paste. It does not have to be something very generic. It has to be very specific. Very specific for that hospital, very specific for that roles and responsibilities. You have to match those roles and responsibility with your experience and make it similar. And always show that you have future plans and show that the hospital is a good place for your future plans, even if you move later or wherever, but you still, it's nice to show that. So yeah, that would be all. So one of the questions I get is that, does it mean that I have to make a different cover letter for each hospital? I would say yes. So every hospital will need a different cover letter. The structure will be the same and a lot of things will be repeating because most of them will have you would be able to say good training programs, supportive environments, a good life work balance. So a lot of things will be repeating. But if there is a hospital, which is a regional hospital, so you can say, so that's something we can add here. So exposure to regional/rural environments as well, right? So it's about knowing specifically about the hospital and what are you looking for, and that's it. So if the hospital is regional rural, just show them that you are interested in that. If the hospital is metropolitan, show them that you want to work in a metropolitan hospital because it's a busy hospital and you will have a lot of chances to learn and a lot of opportunities to learn. In my hospital, for example, had teachings every week. So I also added, I'm interested in the teaching. Interested in being part of the weekly teaching sessions. So all this information is mainly there in the job description or in the hospital website. So just have a look at it and just show them that you are aware. It's not same when someone just writes a cover letter or they are not know what they're talking about and just same for every hospital. It just gets too boring. Make us very specific, and hopefully that video helped you a little bit on how to plan and to organize your cover letter. Make sure it's not too lengthy. Maximum 1.5 pages, 2 pages if you have a lot of to say. But yeah, just don't make it too much. Just make it key points and make bullet points. It really looks nice. It's really easier to read when you have bullet points. And that's it. So I will be making a video later on about how to apply for jobs. So the campaigns are opening soon. So I will make sure I will do it before the campaigns open. So you guys have an idea how to apply for campaigns. And that would be my next video. And then I can also make another one about how to prepare for interview. So I would suggest, if you are enjoying these videos and you find them useful, just subscribe because you will get the notification of next videos, because I don't have any other platform where I post about my videos. I just put them here. So if someone is really interested in seeing the next one, just subscribe to get the notification about next ones. And if you know someone who is in the same journey, not able to know where to start the CV, not able to know how to do the cover letter, just feel free to share with them. And if you have any questions or any doubts regarding the cover letter, let me know in the comments, and I'm more than happy to respond to that. Goodbye. Thank you, guys.